This video is about identifying 5 behaviors that can show a woman doesn't truly value you, and I want to talk about this in a calm, grounded and honest way, not from bitterness, not from blame, but from patterns I've seen repeatedly. Through years of therapeutic work and quiet conversations with men who felt confused, drained, and slowly disconnected from themselves. Welcome back to the channel. If you're here, there's a good chance you're not trying to attack anyone. You're trying to understand something that doesn't sit right in your chest. You feel like you're giving, adjusting, explaining yourself, and yet something feels off. This video exists for that exact moment of awareness. What makes this topic uncomfortable and, yes, controversial is that many men are taught to ignore their internal signals. They're encouraged to be patient, to try harder to communicate better, even when the emotional balance is clearly uneven. Over time, that imbalance doesn't just affect the relationship. It affects self-respect as a therapist. I've listened to countless stories that sounded different on the surface, but shared the same emotional undertone. A man slowly shrinking his needs. A man second-guessing his reactions. A man wondering if he's too sensitive when in reality, his nervous system is responding to inconsistency, dismissal, or lack of care. I can't share names or specifics, but the emotional patterns are unmistakable. This isn't about demonizing women. It's about recognizing behavior value is shown through consistency, effort, and emotional presence. When those are missing, the body notices before the mind does. Most men don't fail because they don't love enough. They struggle because they ignore what their experience is clearly showing them. In this video, we'll walk through 5 behaviors that often signal a lack of value. Explained in simple terms without exaggeration, not so you can react impulsively, but so you can see clearly. Awareness isn't about creating distance. It's about restoring balance and self-trust. By the end, my hope is that you feel steadier, not angry or clearer, not confused, because when you understand what you're experiencing, you stop questioning your worth and start making healthier choices. 1. When your efforts are expected but never appreciated. When your efforts are expected but never appreciated, it slowly reshapes how you see yourself in the relationship. I've heard men describe this not as one dramatic moment, but as a quiet erosion at first. You don't notice it. You show up. You give your time, your attention, your emotional energy, because that's what you believe connection requires. You're not keeping score, you're acting from care. But over time, something subtle begins to happen. Your effort stops being acknowledged and starts being assumed. In therapeutic conversations, this pattern comes up often. A man talks about how he plans things, adjusts his schedule, listens deeply, tries to be emotionally present, and when I ask how that effort is received, there's usually a pause. He'll say something like, "She just expects it," or "It's normal." I guess that word normal is important. When effort is expected rather than appreciated, it becomes invisible. And when something is invisible long enough, it begins to feel meaningless. Appreciation isn't about praise or flattery. It's about recognition. It's about feeling seen as a person who chooses to show up, not someone who exists to fulfill a role. When appreciation is missing, men often compensate by giving more. They think maybe if I try harder, she'll notice, maybe if I explain myself better, she'll understand. But the more you give without acknowledgement, the more unbalanced the dynamic becomes. What's especially damaging is how this affects your inner dialogue. You start questioning whether your needs are reasonable. You tell yourself you shouldn't expect gratitude. You minimize your own desire to feel valued because you don't want to seem demanding. Over time, this self-silencing creates emotional distance from yourself. You're present in the relationship but disconnected internally. From a therapeutic perspective, this isn't about blame, it's about pattern.